for the amount of people that are graduating from high school and going into the job force every year. They've completely taken that number out of the unemployment data. They don't even count it anymore. That 200,000. But I don't know. I think Johnson was on the right track. I think Roosevelt. I think the one thing that we haven't tried yet is progressive socialism. I mean, we tried communism, this capitalism thing with these bankers. That doesn't seem to work. Right. And all progressive socialism is that the system would basically set up just like it is a free market type system, right, except you prevent somebody from massing so much money up. For instance, a guy who wants to make $1 million a year, that's okay. He can make $1 million a year. He makes $10 million a year, then all of a sudden you get $2 million of that. If he's really smart and he can make $20 million a year, then you're going to take $4 million from him. Right. If he's really, really smart and he can make $100 million a year, well, then you keep 50 for the government and the people, and he gets to keep 50. But what's happened is these people have amassed up so much wealth and so much power that they literally can buy all the politicians. They can buy whatever they want because they got all that money, like a Bill Gates. Yeah. He can make $1 billion a year. Well, that's good. You only get to keep $100 million a year. We're going to take the other 900 million from them.
It seems like that's what they're doing to me. You know, they take a good chunk of my money. So why not? You know, take somebody else's. You know, like Obama wants to tax the millionaires, but with his
the Republicans don't want to tax the millionaires.
You know, so.
But of course, what do we think? They want them to stay and keep the money.
Well, I don't care about no millionaires. That's no real money. I'm talking about there's a whole nother group out there which are in the stratosphere. Those are like the Buffetts and the Gates, who got. Fortunately, they seem halfway benevolent. So you know they don't seem like evil guys, but there are people that got that kind of money that are evil. I mean, they do manipulate, like the Rothschilds and the people we talk about on the program. Yeah. Anyways, you can't let people become trillionaires. You can't have somebody have that much power over everybody else. That's my whole point about progressive socialism.
Yeah. Let me say that the call-in number is 347-688-2902. If you can't get in through Skype, you can call in. You can call in and get in through the telephone, I believe.
Yeah, you got to do it like SJ did and like I'm doing.
Yeah, come through the telephone if you can't get through Skype caller. There's something going on with the Skype, like I have to add you as your contact request or something like that, and then you'll be able to come through on Skype. But if you can't get in through Skype, use the telephone. I'll just say that they had this war on poverty back in the day, and what happened with the war on poverty was that people started to believe that Black America, you know, was getting some breaks. Like many observers point out that the war on poverty's attention to Black America created the grounds for the backlash that began in the 1970s. The perception by the white middle class that it was footing the bill for ever increasing services to the poor led to diminished support for welfare state programs, especially those that targeted specific groups and neighborhoods like Black neighborhoods and etc. Many whites view Great Society programs as supporting the economic and social needs of low-income urban minorities. They lost sympathy, and especially as the economy declined during the 1970s. So people were like, look, I'm tired of them blacks and stuff on my dole. They need to get off, get a job, do and all this other stuff. And basically, they were just tired of the giveaway type programs that Johnson had put in, you know, like aid and all kind of stuff coming from the federal government. And, you know, I'm kind of against that, too. I think there's better ways to do it than to all have all these giveaways and et cetera. I mean, they might be necessary in the beginning, but it shouldn't be long-term, lifetime, and all that kind of stuff like that. I think more of the money should be put toward getting people trained and employed and educated and et cetera. So that, you can keep...
Yeah, well, they could clear the whole poverty thing up if they would just fix the stupid schools. I mean, the kind of stuff they feed the kids at the schools, and where they get them running down all these stupid rabbit trails and this and that. They don't teach them how to think. They don't teach them how real life is. They don't even give them one course on, when cars they can't do it now because cars are so sophisticated. But, 20 years ago, this is the basic how a car works.
Yeah.
If you break down, this is it. By the way, here's the statistics. Automobile mechanics, you go to them, it's very hard to find an honest mechanic. Just tell them how life is. Like even my children, now I gave them different lessons, like, certain movies I made them watch, and then I would, lying. I would teach them how to lie. I taught them how to use an open lie, how to lie, when to lie, how a lie is a weapon, a closed lie, a secret lie. I mean, I taught them all about lying. Now, the other day, I caught my daughter, and she's gotten very good at it.
You taught them everything that most parents wouldn't teach them, right? Is that right?
Well, I told them that lying's a weapon. Everybody lies. It's just when you got to use it to a highest form of warfare, and you're in a situation, then lie. The lie has a purpose.
Yeah.
So no, now I don't say bear false witness, make something up and accuse somebody of something.
Right.
That's what the Bible says, bearing a false witness. But on learning how to lie, all my kids are expert. They can work darkness with the right hand and the left. They can use lies either way. They cut you to pieces, but they don't. They don't use it only for certain situations, but they know how to do it.
Okay, well that's interesting. We got another caller, 678. Are you there?
Good evening.
Good evening.
This is Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor, I saw you trying to get through and everything, but
something's going on. I don't know.
We just couldn't get you in there. I'm glad you did get through though. Did you get through on the phone?
Yeah, I'm on the phone now.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, that's fine. That's pretty funny. He teaches his kids to lie, because I always teach mine not to lie. But he's right. It is a weapon, and people use it all the time. So I got to teach my kids, I guess, how to combat lies. And I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But I know a little bit about poverty myself. And I always thought that poverty this was, of course, before I started paying my own bills, that poverty was homeless people living on the streets with their blankets and their grocery carts with their whole lives in them. And I thought that's what poverty meant. People that don't have a job, they can't feed themselves, they have no place to stay.
Right.
Now, I'm learning a lot more about poverty these days than I ever wanted to learn.
Right.
Because I'm working a job, and you can be educated or you cannot be educated. I work in the restaurant industry, and I'm a server, but we have hostesses and servers right next to me that have degrees. Some of them have multiple degrees, and they're hostesses at the front door of the restaurants because they can't find a job in their field. Same thing with the other services. It doesn't matter whether you have degrees or not. It's just hard times for everybody right now. But I'm working a job. I make decent tips, but it's hard for me to pay my rent, my lights, my gas, my water, let alone I don't even have money for the recreationals like cable. Forget about it. Yeah. A house phone. Forget about it. Late on my rent 2 months right now. Yeah. Keep the lights on. The gas has been on for months now, but it's been summertime, so I've been able to get by because I don't need the heat for anything. So it's a tight fight. It's a scuffle, and this is poverty to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what the real definition of poverty? If you want a Jewish definition of poverty, it's somebody who has to work to make a living. When you go to work, you are not free. You're really a debt slave. The only people who are free are people who have enough money to where when they wake up in the morning, they can decide what they're going to do for the rest of their life. Then you're free. Then you're not out of poverty. But anybody who works is in a form of poverty.
Well, they say you're always one step away from being on poverty level, no matter how much money you have. You're always one step away from it.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's people out there that got money. They don't need to do anything.
There's a lot of people that don't know what poverty is at all, and the worst thing that they have to worry about is there's leaves in the pool, dear. What are we gonna do? There's a squirrel in the pool. What are we gonna do?
Right.
Like that's the height of their worries. Some people that don't know anything about it, and I think that's why we have poverty, and then we have the wealthy, because they got more than enough to go around. If we could all just spread it out evenly, it'd all be enough. But like you said, there are people that want power, their greed, their lies, and it's a dog.
Well, you know,
listen, Sarah. Listen. You ought to go online and you ought to look at like 1,001 tips on how to save money. All kinds of creative ways. Like I didn't know it, but simply by cutting the power off at night, you stop. You don't, because it's darkness already. You know, you don't need it. There's a lot of things that work that rotate electricity, so that you're actually running the bill at night. But by cutting the power, you're stopping maximum electricity use. Things like if you have a candle in a safe bowl that gives you a little bit of heat in the house, you don't got to use electricity and light. There's books out there that can tell you all that stuff.
Exactly. Cutting the power is an invitation to homeboy to come on in.
Not necessarily. You sleep. You don't really need it. Like,
I appreciate that. You know, the tips about how to save, how to survive, but I feel like it shouldn't even be that way. Well, there shouldn't be a place where we can go to look to tips on how to survive and live a basic lifestyle. I mean, that's just the way it is, unfortunately, for now, but I don't think it should be that way. But also, I feel like what you think about, you bring about. So what I am trying to practice more nowadays is changing the way I think about things and just manifesting things in my favor. I'm pretty sure that the people that have, they think about always having. They never think about not having. Right. And so that's just what they get. They just get more of it.
Well, listen, Sarah. What do you do? You're a waitress. You're a firecracker. You should be getting an education, become a nurse or something. I mean, you got the horsepower. What do you do? Do you got a degree in school?
I'm actually in school for legal studies. I'm studying to be an attorney one day. But until then, and then that's another thing. I got gas to and from work, to and from school. Sometimes I try to ride the train or the bus. But until I get my degree, it's just what I got to do. And I can't afford to miss days of work. I can't afford to miss days of school. So it's constant working. And I feel like a slave.
Yeah.
Oh, you are. Well, you are. We all are if we have to work. Yeah, you got to get your.
And that's poverty to me.
Yeah.
It says, for many Americans, flat broke has become a permanent condition. Today, over half of all American families live paycheck to paycheck.
Paycheck to paycheck.
And unemployment is rampant. And those that do actually have jobs are finding that their wages are rising much slower than the prices of everything around them.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And let me tell you, a lot of people have lost their homes in the last few years, and had to step down from where they were. Like I said, America is in decline. The government and the corporations and etc. have already headed over to China and India and everywhere else. Now, Obama, he comes out, he's got this jobs bill that he just threw out on the table. And let me tell you about this jobs bill. You know, he says that, he throws it out and tells everybody to pass my jobs bill. First of all, when Obama got elected, right before he got elected, we needed jobs. Okay? He didn't go for jobs and put out a jobs bill at that time, 2008. When he got into office, he went right. He took all the money and went right to the bankers and to the corporations and stuff with the money. Okay, now it's time for his reelection to come around. Okay, he's in a reelection campaign. So now that it's time